I have been patiently waiting to talk to you about the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I've been holding most of my emotions in. So let's jump into book talk because because I have finished both the book of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and I finished the movie.
Okay.
Movie took me 3 days. I'll just say that.
Yep.
But okay, where should I start?
Um, did you like it?
I didn't dislike it.
Okay.
I didn't love it.
Okay.
And I think I explained to you that I believe it's because I don't like President Snow and I don't care.
Yes.
Like I felt no sympathy, no empathy whatsoever to anybody.
No, and I truly believe that was the point, like literally to show how evil he is. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing I low key think, shout out Hunter Schafer, I low key think you feel that more in the movie with the way at the end where she's like, "You look just like your father," Court. Like
Yeah.
the way that line was delivered, like that's when it hit me. Like she loved him, was doing all this for him, and like saw how evil he was and how evil he became. And then obviously we know about Tigress from the original.
Right.
So like to me, that was the moment where I was like, oh shit, like you're not supposed to feel sympathy.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that for sure. I liked Tigress
Oh,
in the movie. I thought and the book. I think I like Tigress as a character overall. Um Lucy Gray was cool, but I definitely was like I don't know. I listened to the audiobook and I feel like it had a huge part in this because the guy who was reading the book was not my favorite. And the voice he gave Lucy Gray, it basically sounded like he was mocking women every time he had a woman. Like that's what he sounded like. He was just like, "Oh, don't worry about me, Coriolanus." And I was like, "Is she a country bumpkin? Like, what is going on?" Like, and I get, yeah, there was a little bit of a twang in the movie too. Like, I could see it, but like that was the voice that he used every time.
that's
Well,
hysterical.
I literally the whole time I'm like, oh my god, like shut up. Like I was like,
No,
I did not want to hear her voice in that way. And I did like her as a character. She was fun, she was different, but like, mm,
no, that I think he definitely took away from it because when I was reading it, I was like obsessed with her. Like the
yeah.
way she just came off like so cool and independent and fierce, and that high pitched southern shit definitely took away because then you're picturing this like bimbo when she's like actually stealthy and smart.
Exactly, exactly. And I definitely feel like if I saw those words on the page, I probably would have felt much different about it. Because you also it gave you the moment to like put it in your brain what she looks like and all that stuff. Like I
Yeah,
don't think that it gave me a very fair description of her in my brain because I was also picturing her as Rachel Ziegler in my brain.
100%. And
Who also can sing like a mother. My God. I'm not a
I
huge fan of hers, but she can sing.
I was gonna say, I know that she's got a lot of drama surrounding her, and I do think it's all valid. I literally think it's because she played Lucy Gray, but I'm obsessed with her. Like,
I
I
don't
don't know what it is.
I don't really like I don't again, I'm not a fan of her. I don't
Yeah,
think I hate her. But I definitely like I wasn't like, "Oh, yeah, like this is great." But I do think originally before anything really came out about her, I really didn't know about her.
yeah.
So once all that stuff came out, I was like, "Oh, who is this?" And I found out about like that's how she was introduced in my head too. So
That's
like,
totally fair. I knew her. There was some drama about her, like during Hunger Games promo, but then, or Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes promo. And then the movie came out, and I was just like, wow, like to a T, exactly what I pictured. So I was like, fuck it. I don't care about the drama. And then there was more of the Snow White shit. And I was like, but like, I'm going to turn a blind eye. Like, this isn't a big enough deal.
yeah. No, I genuinely I think she did a good job in the movie. I think she can sing like nobody's business. Like she has like the most one of the more flawless voices that I've heard.
Yeah.
And but then I did text so I was talking to Sarah about it too because Sarah had read and watched the movie as well. So I started the movie, and obviously I knew there was songs in the book because this also the guy was singing awful in the book too, listening to it. Awful, awful, awful.
Oh my
But
God, I can't even imagine that.
he wasn't even really singing. Like he was like like that was how every song went. No, it was bad. It was bad. I should play it for you so you can hear it because it's actually pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that sounds insane.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. But oh shoot. Dang it. Dang it. I've once again lost my train of thought.
Oh, wait, she was a great singer.
She was a great singer. And so there was music in the book, obviously. But like the second she started singing in the movie, I texted Sarah and I was like, oh God, is this a musical? And she was like, I mean, there's music in it. And I was like, but do they burst out singing? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, thank God.
I literally was like, oh, I'm going to sit down and watch The Hunger Games. But I was like, okay, I'm watching that, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I just refer to them all as The Hunger Games for him because it won't.
Fair enough.
And so I was like, I'm going to watch The Hunger Games. Sit down, watch it. And all of a sudden he goes, The Hunger Games is a musical? I lost it.
No, literally, that was like my first thought. I was like, oh my God, am I going to sit through 2.5 hours of this? And it wasn't that bad. There wasn't that much music in it.
I like in my ranking of the series, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is only above Mockingjay. Like it's low for me, but for some reason, I find myself quoting or singing this movie or the songs from the movie. Like I'll walk around my apartment and go, Lucy Gray. Right? It's like, why? Like, I don't know why. Like always, or I'll like, can't take my time. Like I can't stop singing these songs. They're forever stuck in my head.
Oh my God. I'm just imagining just like Brian like hiding in a closet. He's like, he's Lucy Gray. And he's like, oh, she's coming.
He was like, do you know where this? And I was like, Lucy Gray, where are you, Lucy? And he's like, never again. Like never. I lost my TV privileges. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. No, but honestly, the book got a little slow, like you said.
Yep.
I am glad that I listened to it. I probably would have not finished it if I was reading it.
I think honestly, if you were reading it and that guy's voice isn't in your head, because I completely agree. I felt disgusted by Snow the entire book, but I was so sucked into Lucy Gray that that's what like I was so intrigued by her and like I wanted to hear more and I wanted to like see how they ended up and like where she ended up because obviously I was like she's not around in the originals, like where'd she go? Which still, speaking of, where'd you think she went? What do you think happened to her?
Oh, I think she ran away.
Mm-hmm.
I think she got out and went someplace north, like she said she was going. But I did see something about her and Katniss being distant related. Is that true?
Like, okay, so it's a theory that there's a lot of supporting evidence, but we'll get into that when you finish the next one.
Got it. Okay.
But I mean, there's just ties of Katniss being honestly the one thing I can say. Okay. Katniss was singing the songs that Lucy Gray and the Covey were singing.
Yes.
They're forbidden, so they would have had to be passed down. So everyone from Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes knew there was some sort of tie somewhere.
Okay.
They didn't know where it was. And I remember after some of my theories I don't know how to say this. I can't remember what Sunrise on the Reaping or not. I think we should wait till after just because I don't want to.
That's fair.
Mix it up.
That is totally fine. Well, I definitely think that she ran away.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, like if you're gonna be distantly related to someone, you kind of have to reproduce to like be distantly related, unless she's like a sixth aunt removed or something along those lines or whatever. But like I was like, I feel like in my brain, movie-wise, show-wise, if there's no body and if there's no like burial scene or whatever, they're not dead. Unless I see them dead on the floor, which that also contradicts because in the end of Mockingjay, we do not see a dead President Snow. It is implied. However, this is different.
That man is dead. There was like 1,000 people on him.
Right. Yes. So like again, implied.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm a person that if I'm not seeing them, if I don't see like a person who is dead on the floor, I don't think that they are.
Speaking of someone dead.
Yes.
Sejanus.
Didn't really care.
What?
I thought Sejanus was kind of annoying. I thought that was the book. When I watched the movie, I thought he was even more annoying in the movie.
My Sejanus.
No, didn't really care. I was like, dude, you're a rich kid. You could live your life. And I understand helping people and everything, but like, I think he was just way out of his league.
Yeah.
Like, especially in 12. Like, I was like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I just felt so hard for him. And everyone thinks that, because at first you're like, oh, like Snow hates Katniss because she reminds him of Lucy Gray because she's like independent, fierce girl from 12. But like the deeper you look, Katniss has more parallels with Sejanus, and she reminds him of Sejanus and what he did to Sejanus. And that's why there's all this, like, that's why he just like hates her so much. And none of that's ever, like, that's theories. Like, I can see, honestly, it's probably both. He probably just hates everyone from District 12. Like,
that too. I feel like that's more believable though, like the Sejanus connection, because he killed Sejanus. Like, Sejanus is dead because of him.
Yes.
There was no fate for Lucy Gray. Like, yes, maybe somehow he is the reason she's dead, but like he doesn't know that. And also it was never confirmed that she even died.
Yeah.
So.
And also, what about his dad is the reason that the Hunger Games exist?
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I did like the stuff about like the actual games, like things that like when they were like, yeah, we're gonna send in the drones and like that stuff I found more interesting than like Snow. If that makes sense.
Flickerman.
Oh yes, Lucky Flickerman. And I just loved how they were just like, it was very obviously like the first time, and they're like working out the kinks and like, you know, oh, who's going here, this and that. Like I did like that part. So anything that had to do with specifically with the games, and I saw like either the conception of it or how it was created or like whatever, that part really interested me.
Yes.
But I feel like if this was maybe done in a different way where we were hitting multiple characters, not just Snow, and like we were able to learn more things about other people, like Coin or Plutarch, or like, because like there was a Plutarch in the book, I think, and so I was like, oh, that must be, or no, there was a building that they're in that's like Plutarch, and I was like, oh, Plutarch, and like I wanted to learn about that. I wanted to know how that came to be.
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was much more subtle with the ties. Like they were like, oh, like I kind of reckon like Arachna Crane is Seneca Crane's like distant. There were like a few of those.
Yeah, like I heard the names. Yes, Heavensby, that was the other one.
Or my computer charger.
Oh, you're getting your computer charger. Okay. I was like, where is she going? She's just getting up. Like we're not in the middle of recording a podcast. Oh my goodness. I wish for people who are listening could have seen the things unfold in front of you. If you're ever listening and you want to see us do this, please watch on YouTube, because I feel like you do get a more full experience this way.
You do, because actually what happened there is in my head, I told you that my computer was dying and I had to get up, but it didn't actually make it out by the time our conversation finished. So then I just got up and I was like, oh shit, I didn't give it any warning.
I literally was just like, wait, Jordyn, do you know that we're like, it's okay to do that when we're just chatting? But I was like,
Oh my God, well, we still have a whole other, I'm not even done on this topic yet. We still have a whole nother one, and I was on 7%. So
Yeah, 7%. Gotta plug it
7%.
in.
But overall, when this came out, and I told you this, that when this came out, I was so fucking obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But I think mainly now looking back, it was just because it reignited the Hunger Games flame and like it connected so many dots. I agree, like learning the history, and like I was obsessed with this when this came out. But especially now after reading Sunrise on the Reaping, I was like, okay, as a whole, the book itself wasn't phenomenal. Like it just added a lot of context to the story. I loved Lucy Gray's character. Like I liked Tigress's background. But like I completely agree that as like a standalone, it does not compare to the original. Except for Mockingjay, because I didn't really like Mockingjay.
It was fine.
Then Sunrise on the Reaping is literally like people could argue that it's the best book in the series, and I'd be like, there's a valid argument there. It's personally nothing will ever beat Catching Fire for me, but
I was just gonna say I feel like Catching Fire is my favorite book.
I 100%. And my mom, there was one day she was like, "What's your favorite Hunger Games?" I was like, "Catching Fire," and she thought it was a hot take. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is like the fan favorite. Like I was like, I don't think I'm being edgy with this.
I don't think so either. I think Catching Fire, because at that point you have the established characters and you feel a certain way about them, and then they go back into the game. So you basically get to feel the feels that you felt in book one again, but in a more emotional way. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, I was just like saying words, and I was like, actually, I don't know if I'm making any sense right now.
100%, because now, like, we were attached. Like going into the first games, you're just like Katniss and Peeta live. Like that's all you wanted. Now it's like you're attached to all these other side characters, and it's Katniss and Peeta again back in it. It's like, how the fuck are they gonna get out of this again? And you're like, and you understand the games now, like you know all the stakes of the government and everything that comes with it, like, and you're like, how the fuck are they gonna do this? And then they just blow up the world. So spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah, in case you didn't know. In the movie, the actress that they had casted for Wovi.
Yes.
Oh, it hurt.
I don't know why they had to do that.
I don't know why they did that either, but I literally the second I saw her, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Oh no. I was like, why would they do that? That actress is like so I don't know if adorable is the right word, but she is so precious, and I care deeply for her.
Yes.
I don't know her name.
That's another one. I refuse in my version of World. Finnick and Annie are alive and happy and raising their child. So that's a death I skipped through. I skipped the snakes part in Ballad of Songbirds snakes. I'm like, I do not want to see this beautiful innocent child get trampled by a bunch of rainbow poisonous snakes. I skipped like Lucy Gray singing and climbing, because I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I did like the snake part. That was pretty
cool. I just don't like to see the Wovi going down with it.
But I feel like I was picturing, and I hadn't seen the movie at all, so I really didn't know the specifics of it. I was really picturing it that way while I was reading it. The one thing I really wasn't picturing was Dr. Gall and the snakes and her like laboratory. Like that was completely different in my brain. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa, where are we? Although Viola Davis did such a good job being like super creepy and weird.
She like her character, that's exactly the kind of vibe that I pictured. And I was like, is this woman batshit crazy? And then Viola Davis walked out and I was like, yeah, she is batshit crazy. But I agree. I pictured her laboratory like literally like a classroom lab. Like that. And then it was like this high-tech thing. And I was like, whoa. I also didn't like how they just like never really revisited Clemmy.
Yeah. In the movie, you mean? Yeah. Like, I agree. She was such a huge part of the story.
Yes.
And was in it a lot more. And I get, you movie different. We got to make our way through it and not have it be 6 hours long. But like a follow-up, her being angry at Snow, I think that added to things because like Clemmy is his friend.
Yes.
Like that's his friend. And like That was also the big thing too. It was almost like him watching him pull away from people that care about him
Yes.
and that he cares about too, but he cares about this more than the people he
Every
cares about. And I feel like with Tigress and Grandmam, you see that obviously. You see it with Lucy Gray, you see it with Sejanus. But like you saw it with some of the people that he was friends with at school. And like I feel like we kind of missed out on that.
Yes. Also, now that you've seen the movie and compared to the book,
Mhm.
the one thing I wanted to talk about, we were talking about Katniss and Joanna and how they cut out so much of like the mental part of everything from the movies. I felt like this movie lacked that the most, and that's why there are all these sexy snow edits. Because for people that didn't read the book, you don't realize how like it you can be convinced in the movie until the very end that he actually loves Lucy Gray. And in the book, he's like this rabid animal.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree. He's more romanticized in the movie for
100%.
sure. And he was a good-looking guy. Also adds on to it. You know, I don't even know how I was picturing Coriolanus like in the book. I think it was just like a white cutout of a person, tall, lanky. Like I don't think I even like put a face to him.
I was literally picturing Snow, but just telling myself he's a teenager. Like
Yeah, like I don't know. I
that's
don't
all
think
I could do.
but the guy in the yeah, like I think I would argue that at some point in Snow's life, he did love Lucy Gray.
Yes.
And I think that you can say about everybody. Like he
Yes.
had feelings. He was not just some like deadpan guy from the start, like didn't care about anything, just wanted to kill people. Like he did have emotions, and this is him becoming who we know him as. But like in the book, I just was like, bro, fuck off. Fuck
Yep.
off. Fuck off. You're the worst. You saw his like twisted brain too with things and like in the woods, like at the end when he's like stalking Lucy Gray and like how it starts and everything's good and everything's good and then it's getting weird and then it's getting weird and literally it's just a slow I don't even know when it happens, but all of a sudden he's just a psycho. And you're
Yep.
like, whoa, like 2 pages ago, we were just holding hands and talking about your
Exactly.
grandma and your mom's scarf or whatever the fuck.
I literally remember the first time I read it, like flipping back and being like, is he like, I was like, how
Yeah.
did this just become this?
That part in the book was pretty crazy and pretty intense. And in the movie too, I would say, but like you saw that the whole time in the book, and that just wasn't the case with the movie.
He is one of the most complex characters ever because it's like you obviously want to call him a sociopath or whatever it may be, but he does
Right.
have feelings. Like that's the craziest part. It's literally just his need for power that overcomes everything. And like you even see that like in like the prequel in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, you realize that like he was like, oh, I was supposed to have a sister, but my mom died in childbirth. And then
Right.
obviously his dad died. And then so now when he's talking to Katniss, like after the revolution, after everything, and he's like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear about your sister. You're like, whoa, like, are you actually like that's what's so like he does have feelings, but then he does all this. I'm like, that makes you worse, honestly. Like,
Yeah. It does, it humanizes him just a little bit, and it
yes.
makes you feel a certain way just a little bit, and, like, it makes you question how you're supposed to be feeling about him. But you're right, he is a super complex character,
Yes.
and I'm really glad that we have the opportunity to talk about this because I am finding as the more we're talking about it, I am finding more appreciation for it.
That's literally that's what it did for me. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And you'll see, before you know it, I spent probably 2 months on, and I read it like as the movie was coming out. So there was so
Right.
much content about it. There's like everyone was talking about it. So even if I wasn't in the mood to think about it, I was thinking about it because it was
Yeah.
just everywhere. And like, you know how the algorithm works, like they were feeding it to me. And there are so many edits and like things people pulling out and like connecting the dots. You have to be careful though. Don't go searching until you finish Sunrise on the Reaping because I think that's gonna and there's a lot there. So finish
Okay.
it and then go on a deep dive. And you're literally, it's like, holy crap. And that's why I literally finished it. It was like, okay, it was good. Then I got obsessed with it because I was like, it connects
Yeah.
everything. Like,
I do like that part. But I am gonna read Sunrise on the Reaping, and we'll remind you guys at the end of the episode, but I'm not here next week. So I'll be on vacation and I'll be reading on the beach. So hopefully by the time I get back and we have our Unsolicited episode in 2 weeks, I will have finished Sunrise on the Reaping. And then I don't have any movie to watch. It's just Sunrise on the Reaping. So once I'm done, I'm done.
Then we can theorize for the movie and talk about the cast, and then we'll get to do a review of the movie. But I think if you finish on vacation, I need to record like an immediate video reaction.
Okay.
So you don't even have to send it to me. You can reveal it to me on the pod here.
Okay. Oh my God. Is it so? It's one of those books that goes down all the way to the end. Okay. The gentle nodding. Yeah. I really am nervous. Should I not read this book on the beach? Like, am I gonna cry in front of the ocean? Is the ocean gonna see my vulnerability?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyone who sees you reading it will be like, it's okay. Like,
the thing is, I have the physical book. I think I'm gonna put it on my Kindle.
Do it. Literally do it.
I think I'm just going to do it because I really want to keep reading on my Kindle.
Yeah, are you obsessed with it?
I am. I do. I really like it.
Yeah.
I'm so obsessed with my Kindle.
I know that me and you are in the same boat with this, where we say we're slow readers. Don't you feel like you're reading so much quicker on the Kindle?
So fast. I've read a book in 3 days.
Yes. I
just have to say, I read this book by Abby Jimenez called Just for the Summer. Found out that it's book 3 in a series. So now I have to go back and read books 1 and 2. But like,
did it make sense?
Yeah, it's basically just like the same universe. So, okay. But like, there was a huge bomb on like who I won't get too deep into it in case anybody is reading it or wants to read it. But like, there's a huge bomb about a person's life at the end, like towards the end of this book that I was reading, and I was like, okay, and like they just like spelt the name out, and I was like, okay. Found out that the person that the bomb is the character in book 1, the main character. So I'm like, oh, that would have meant a lot more to me if I had read the first 2 books. So, but it was such a good book, and it was such an easy read. No sex, no smut, nothing, just a good old summer romance book.
I absolutely love that. If you need another one,
yes, please.
Kind of sad, but I read when I was in Cancun. One, I read The Housemaid, Frida McFadden.
I have that.
That I know it's kind of a basic thriller. Everyone's reading it right now. It really is so good. It's like
I want to read it. I have it on my Kindle right now.
Yes. It's literally the perfect vacation thriller. I read it I started it on the beach, read 80 pages, and then I finished it on the flight home. It was so good. And then I also read Every Summer After, which is just like an emotional, like teen summer, going back to each other type vibe. And like, it's like jumping back and forth between like adult perspective, like them as adults versus them like as teenagers. And it was very good.
Wait, can you like text me that title so I can add it?
And there's a few more by that author.
Perfect.
That are like similar vibes, but not, I don't think
I have so much to read. So little time. I need like a month-long beach vacation in order to like at least catch up with where I want to be reading wise. But
Sam, I've read 13 books this year.
I know, that's crazy. I actually went back. I think I've only read physically like 7 books.
But you are listening to so many.
Right, I'm listening to so many. I mark them on here. In 2025, according to my giant notes app that I now have, I've read 20 books, but like 13 of them are audiobooks.
But you're absorbing them. You're still getting the information.
I am, yes.
Yeah, where am I at on my notes app? Here we are.
Beautiful.
My list so far. This is a whole Mod Podge. I'm all over the place right now. I need something like really strong. I'm reading 2 books right now. I'm reading The God of the Woods, which is actually very good. I haven't read a thriller probably since The Housemaid. And it's awesome. It's like it's not thriller, it's like mystery, dark, summer camp, kid missing, really cool, in 1965. So love it. And then the other one that I'm reading is for my Goodreads challenge, and it's called For She Is Wrath. And it was for Asian Heritage Month. So it's written by an Asian author. And it was recommended to me because it was like, if you like Throne of Glass. And I was like, fuck yeah, sign me up. I don't like it. And it's killing me.
No.
I know. And I want to so bad. The concept is brilliant. It's just the writing is a little cheesy for like how intense I feel like the plot should be. Because the concept's great and the characters are great. But it just like the conversation, like it just moves a little too quick. Like it's not dramatic enough. But it's good. It's just not great. And I really need something great.
I feel you. Well, I'm bringing my Kindle, and I'm bringing my physical Throne of Glass with me. We'll see if we get to physical Throne of Glass, but I'm focused on finishing the Hunger Games first. I got to get it done. Got one more. So reading Sunrise and the Reaping, no matter what, like that is the next book I'm opening up and I'm reading. But we'll see where I'm at. Honestly, the thing that's stopping me is the fact that I literally just want to read on my Kindle right now.
Literally buy it.
I like don't want to pick up a physical book. It's just so nice.
It's so fun, especially on vacation. Like that's when you want to use a Kindle the most.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, and like I like in the afternoon, like I'll take a break from work, I'll sit outside, I'll read my book on the balcony, and the sun hits it, and instead of getting dark, it gets brighter, and I'm like, I love this. I don't have to struggle to see. As you guys can see, I can't see. I have horrible eyes. So like I really gotta fucking zoom in on shit, and I can make the text as big or as small as I want. It's really nice.
I also love when they're like, hey, you have 11 minutes left in this chapter, or like, hey, there's 46 minutes left in the book. And it's like, oh, I can sit down and finish that right now. Like,
how do I do that?
Tap the bottom, for my version, tap the bottom left corner and it changes. It goes from page number to minutes left in chapter to minutes left in the book, and then a random bit of numbers that I don't know what that means.
Okay, because right now all I see is the page number and then the percent I have read.
Tap where the page number is and it should change. That's how my version works.
Okay. I'm sure it's probably the same thing.
I
would prefer time, because time versus page numbers to me makes more sense.
Yes. I agree. And it took me a while. At first, I was not into the time. I was like, this doesn't sit right with me. And then I started doing it and I was like, oh, this is really, really addicting. That's how I read the one book on our reading retreat the day we got there, when I just like finished that book that day. Yeah. That was only because it was like a 330-page fantasy book. And it was like, got 2.5 hours left. And I was like, bet. Like,
yeah, I got this. Yeah, no, I'm going to do that because I feel like I would be more inclined to sit down and read for 15 minutes rather than read 10 pages.
Yes. And then also it lets me know if I'm like, oh, I have a little break or like I have something, and I'll open and it's like 30 pages left in this chapter. I'm like, or 30 minutes left in this chapter. I'll be like, no, I'll save that for when I can actually sit down. Like no reason to, but if it's like 5 minutes, I'm like, sure, I could sneak a chapter in.
Yeah. Though I think time would definitely be better for me and I would be more inclined to sit down and read. So I'm going to change that because and the percentage really works for me too, because I could just plug the percentage in on Fable when I'm updating instead of having to do like page numbers. And I'm like, oh, so much better.